Effective inclusive working practice, the inclusion challenge. Disabled people experience barriers in employment and employment opportunities, which leads to disadvantage. Did you know that working disabled people are less likely to be employed in managerial and professional jobs and more likely to be employed for simple jobs? The resources in this film have been developed through the NIACE Coordinated Inclusion Challenge Project 2012, which the learning and skills sector brought together to progress their own learning and professional development and to support sector development on working better with disabled staff. The hints and tips have been organised into 5 sections. These are: number 1, management; number 2, communication; number 3, human resources; number 4, training and development; number 5, appropriate adjustment. Why not download our poster, which highlights the key points of this training tool? Number 1, management. Good management has the power to bring about change and make a real difference. Here are our ideas to aid good leadership. Aim to create a culture where staff feel safe and secure to say they have a disability. Ensure disabled staff are represented and involved at all levels in the organisation. Ensure the whole organisation is focused on disability equality by developing improved policy and practice around disabled staff. Develop policy and practice by getting work forums, representatives and unions involved. Ensure senior management know what is really happening, rather than just what the policy says, and ensure any surveys are followed up. Encourage flexible working practices that enable disabled staff to focus on delivering outcomes and achieving their goals. Number 2, communication. Effective communication is key to good practice at all levels, so here are some suggestions that might help. Get involved at grassroots level. Communicate with staff in informal ways. Get-togethers and groups work well. Create opportunities for disabled staff to take the lead. Appoint a disability champion from amongst disabled staff and create support networks by encouraging disabled staff to meet with each other and with other staff. Use positive images and representation in materials and promotion. Do not make assumptions or be afraid to ask a disabled person what they need or feel. All staff involved in developing communications should be aware of the different ways people can describe themselves. For example, a deaf person may be more readily identified with a linguistic minority rather than disability. Colleagues should be aware that many disabilities can change or develop over time. Number 3, human resources. Human resources provides an essential link between the company and its employees. Here are some thoughts on how to ensure these links provide support to disabled workers. Ensure everyone concerned is aware of access to work. Use staff inductions and appraisals to outline your positive approach to supporting staff with disabilities. Introduce flexible working practices that enable disabled staff to focus on delivering outcomes and achieving their goals. Use disability disclosure information from staff to help remove hurdles for all staff. Conduct regular and anonymous surveys of staff to discover and understand their support needs. Expand on clear and positive guidance to accompany monitoring requests, which outlines the provider's commitment to equality. Build positive relationships between HR and disabled staff through coaching and mentoring. Evaluate the processes you have in place for determining additional support needs for potential members of staff. Ensure work on disability involves disabled staff and is led by them, but is not exclusive so that other staff can be engaged. Coordinate the involvement of work forums, representatives and unions in initiatives. Number 4, training and development. Training and development are essential to ensuring employees are motivated and fulfil their potential. Here are some ideas to ensure this can be achieved. Be aware some disabilities can be linked with age. Include disability awareness in staff, management and governor training programmes. Ensure disabled members of staff are involved with or lead on planning, designing and delivering the training. Ensure disabled staff have access to progression opportunities that will enable them to develop their skills. Expand on practical approaches such as example-based training that will enable participants to see and demonstrate good practice. Demonstrate how to have a two-way communication with staff. Include an open question and answer session at the end of each training session. Implement coaching and mentoring schemes that build confidence of disabled staff. Number 5, appropriate adjustment. Providing reasonable adjustment according to each individual's needs will help people thrive in the workplace. Ensure a full understanding of reasonable adjustment and the many ways this can be introduced. Ensure adjustments are timely to take into account that needs may change and disabilities may develop during the period of employment. Use the provision of reasonable adjustment to remove barriers for promotion and accessing management positions. Make access technology available and visible. For example, library or student services, maps and lists. Where possible, introduce flexible working arrangements, such as working from home. That would make it easier to support health and disability needs. So in conclusion, the main principles of good practice can be summarised as follows. Be proactive, drive practice forward positively. Don't wait for things to go wrong. Spread the work widely. Ensure open and effective communication. Remove the fear factor for those that are worried about getting it wrong. Remember, people, not policies, are the focus. Develop everyone's skills.